So you finally found that perfect home, the one you really like, and you crafted the perfect offer like we discussed in the last webinar. But you were not the only one, so unfortunately the listing agent got back and he told you or your agent, listen, we got multiple offers, so we would like to get your highest and best offer by, let's say, tomorrow at 6 p.m. That puts you in a really bad position because you do not know what the other offers are. So are you gonna keep your current offer and potentially lose the house for only $1,000 maybe? Or are you gonna go all into the highest you can afford and maybe pay way too much because the other offers were maybe just a little higher than yours? But again, you don't know. So what are you gonna do? Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you how I deal with that and how I saved my buyers thousands and thousands of dollars and we won the bid. In one instance, one of my clients, we were bidding on a condo and I was able to save her $40,000. She was willing to offer $40,000 more just to get the condo, and I could save her 40 grand and we won the bid. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to respond to a multiple offer situation where they want the highest and best bid, how to do it right, and how to not overpay. It still doesn't guarantee you win it because somebody else is maybe overpaying for the property, but at least it gives you your best shot without overpaying. So let's get right into it. If you are new to this channel and you would like to know everything there is about living in the Palm Beaches, Florida, and about tips and tricks for buying, selling, or investing in real estate, then simply subscribe to this channel below and tap the bell so you will be the first one to know about market updates and upcoming tips and tricks about real estate, buying, selling, and investing. By the way, my name is Klaus Sinn and I lead a real estate team here in the Palm Beaches. And my team and I, we get texts, emails, phone calls every single day from people just like you. And we're loving it. So whether you want to move or thinking about moving in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, shoot us a text, send us an email, give us a call, or below, schedule a Zoom call with me, which I like best. I would love to talk to you and give you answers to your questions and guide you through the process. So how do we handle a multiple offer situation? Well, the first thing we need to find out is if the listing agent represents the buyer. So I always call the listing agent in a multiple offer situation. Most of the time I get an email because they don't want to talk to me. So I got an email and the email usually says, hey, we received multiple offers and we want the highest and best offer by tomorrow 6 o'clock. So my first action is going to be calling that listing agent and I say, listen, listing agent, I understand you have multiple offers. I only have one question. Are you representing any of the buyers in that transaction? So in other words, any of the offers you received, it's maybe one, it's maybe multiples, are you representing one of those buyers? And if the agent says, no, I do not, then I can go on from there. If the agent says, yes, I represent the buyer, at that point, I want to know if there is a discount forwarded to the seller because the listing agent pretty much has both sides of the transaction. And if that's the case, that puts me and my buyer in a disadvantage. So I need to know how much that difference is. And according to MLS rules, the listing agent, he does not need to disclose the price to me for how much he offers, but he needs to disclose the difference in percentage. How much discount is the seller getting if he accepts that offer? And if it's, let's say, in a $500,000 deal, for example, if the offer is 500 grand, and he gives a 2% discount, that would be $10,000. That means my offer needs to be $10,000 higher from the beginning just to compete with that offer the listing agent presents from his buyer. So with that said, my first question is always, are you representing the buyer? And how much is the credit to the seller in this case, which he has to tell me. Now with that said, we can go on to the next step, countering or sending the highest and best offer. Now, the way we do it, I explain it with an actual transaction I did with one of my clients. So we're going to go back with the same amount we offered in the first place, because if you remember from our webinar about crafting the perfect offer, we already made the perfect offer, so there's not much we want to change on that offer in form of terms. The only thing we are negotiating at this moment is the price. So the problem is we do not know how much these other offers are. If we offer the same money, we may lose that deal for as little as $1,000. But if we offer all the money the buyer is willing to pay, we may be overpay because the offer they have on the table is maybe only $1,000 more than ours. So how do we handle that? Now, let me explain that. We're going to use, it's called an escalation clause. So my buyer made an offer on a condominium that was listed for $690,000. I already knew from the get-go that it was overpriced. So our original offer was $630 because we wanted to take advantage of the fact that it was on the market for 270 days. Unfortunately, they got another offer the same day, and that happens a lot. There's nothing you can do. Even if a property is sitting on the market for a long time, all of a sudden you got both offers or even more offers on the same day. So anyway, we went in with $630, and the same day I got a message back from the listing agent. Hey, believe it or not, I know the property has been sitting on the market, but today I got actually another offer on that. So I got two offers. And my first question to the listing agent was, are you representing the buyer in the other side? And she said, no, I do not. And that takes out the issue with the credit, which I can explain later again, how to handle that. But it put us on a plain level with the other offers. So I explained to my buyer that I need to know how much she's willing to pay. What is your maximum amount you're willing to pay for that condo? And I knew it's worth $650 was actual market value, but she decided she loved the condo. It has everything she wants. It's on the ocean. It's the perfect place for her. She's willing to pay full price, $690, even though she knows she's overpaying. The good thing was the market was increasing. She is experienced in market values. It's not her first rodeo. And she said, I want that condo. So we established she's willing to pay full price, which was about $690. And from there on, I explained to her how an escalation clause works. So instead of going back with an offer for $690, we went back with an offer for $630, the same amount we offered at the beginning. And then we added a clause to that offer. And the clause read, buyer is willing to pay $5,000 more than the highest offer received by the listing agent, not to exceed $690,000. And as proof, we want to see the offer of the other side if we are the winning offer. So let me rephrase that one more time. So we went back with $630,000, but we put a stipulation in that offer that we're willing to pay $5,000 over any other offers they had, not to exceed $690,000. So what it means is, let's say they had an offer for $631,000. Well, we're willing to pay $636,000. Let's say they had an offer for $660,000. We're willing to pay $665,000. If they had one for $680,000, we're willing to pay $685,000. If they had one for $690,000, we were not willing to pay more than $690,000. So our offer would have been at this point, depending on the seller, which one he likes better. But most of the time, then at that point, it's going to be declined because they got a $690,000 offer. And 2 hours later, we got that phone call. Our offer got accepted. She sent me the other highest offer, which was $640,000. So we got under contract for $645,000, which saved my client $45,000 because she was willing to pay $690,000. We got it for $645,000. I hope that is understandable, the way how that process works. Now, if the agent, the listing agent, would have represented the buyer, that would have changed things a little bit. I would have changed the escalation clause, because if the listing agent represented the buyer, I needed to know the discount. Let's say the discount would have been 2%, just for giggles. Now 2% of our offer was $630,000. That would be $12,600. So I know we need to be $12,600 over our offer just to match the other offer for the seller. Now, if you don't understand that, let me try to explain it again. So if I use a 500,000 example, that's easier to understand. So let's say your offer is $500,000. That means the seller gets $500,000 minus his closing costs, right? So the listing agent also has an offer for $500,000. The seller gets $500,000 minus his closing costs. However, if the listing agent gives the credit, which he usually does, then the seller nets more money because he pays less closing costs, because he pays less commissions. So my offer needs to be increased by that amount. So I would simply go ahead and take that discount. As I said, the listing agent needs to disclose the percentage of that discount. So I would just take that discount in our offer. It was $500,000, for example, it would be $10,000. So I would add that to my escalation clause plus an additional sum. So I would say we'll pay $15,000 over the best offer you have. That doesn't mean that the best offer, if it's only two offers, it's easy. I know the other agent, the listing agent is the other guy. If there's multiple offers, then I don't know. Then you just need to bite the bullet. And in this case, I would say, okay, it's $15,000. That's $10,000 for the discounts plus $5,000 to the advantage for the seller. I would put that in my escalation clause. Still a lot better than paying full price, and it gives you the chance to win the bid against somebody else unless they are willing to offer full price from the get-go. Now, if the other agents have the same idea and they put in an escalation clause as well, then you simply play against the maximum price they put in versus yours. But I can tell you from experience, with over 1,000 closings, very, 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 very few agents use an escalation clause. I do not know why, but it's a huge advantage for you, the buyer. So in the future, if you run into that problem that your offer gets countered, tell your agent to use an escalation clause. So if you like the content in this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to learn more about living in the Palm Beaches, Florida, or more tips and tricks about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, then simply subscribe to this channel below and tap the bell so you will be the first one to be notified when a new video is going to be posted. And whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, or you have a real estate question that bugs you, don't forget to call us or shoot us a text or send us an email, or even better, schedule a Zoom call with me, which I like best. I would love to talk to you and guide you to the next transactions or simply answer your questions. And with that said, I'll be back.